We're about news, commentary, conversations, truth, liberty, and God. We stand for American values and our flag. We believe that the Constitution is a document that fortifies rights already given to us by our Creator. We will not apologize for our love of God and country, ever. We are Right America Media.
Hey, welcome back everyone to Veteran Nation. We are live tonight. It is our 3rd year anniversary show. So 3 years ago, amidst COVID, I was approached and asked to do a veteran show, and I said no. And they came back again later and said, please do the show. And I said no. And they came back again and said, please, would you just do the show? And I said, I'll do it if I can help veterans. And that's going to be the theme of tonight's show, is about helping veterans and about telling veteran stories. So joining me as always up in the Great White North, he's keeping everything warm up there in Minnesota. How you doing, TC?
Great, the Great White North. I think that's not very inclusive of you. It's you.
Well, I wasn't talking about that
better.
white. I was cocaine. I was talking about.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of that up here. Trust me, Minneapolis, St. Paul. You want cocaine, meth.
That's yeah, right there. You got the Mississippi. You got the what was it 80-90 corridor?
I don't know. No, the 90-35 corridor.
It might be warm today, but it's snowing somewhere up there.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what? The poor audience doesn't understand what I have to go through as we're leading in, because Mike gets pre-show jitters. He doesn't even know this. He gets these pre-show jitters, and as Juan's putting in, the opening for Right American Media and for the show, Mike freezes and he just sits there and looks at the camera and goes, and I got to look at that through all of the opening.
It's because I never know. Something could go wrong. Juan could immediately go to me, and I want them to see a smiling face greeting the audience. So,
I just say go with what you got, and we are professional and we roll with it. And you just remind me of all the girls from the musicals in high school that would put Vaseline on their teeth so that they would smile during the chorus of all the musicals. And I no, that's just fake and stupid. So
I don't do that. I haven't done any type of makeup for the show ever. Maybe we should.
We know. We know you've never done makeup for the show. So
I do want to shout out to our hairstylists. They do a great job.
They do. They do a great job. Yeah. I think what we get bedhead issues, which is why I keep my hair so short, is I don't have to deal with it anymore. But if you have, and I hate to bring this up so early, but I want to get it out of the way. If you have a really good pillow, you don't have to worry about bedhead, because you sleep so soundly with a really good pillow that you don't care what your hair looks like in the morning. And here at Right American Media, we are fortunate to be sponsored by a Minnesota-based company, which is My Pillow, which is owned and operated and ran by a great patriot, Mike Lindell. And he offers a discount for viewers of Right American Media.
Speaking of cocaine.
Jeez.
If you
We
know
just
Mike
lost a
Lindell's
relationship.
story. No, he's very open about his struggle with chemical dependency.
But I believe we have a promo code that you were supposed to insert there, and instead you decided to make one of your famous jokes.
Yes, folks, if you want a My Pillow, they do sponsor Right America Media, and you can use promotion code RAM for Right America Media. I hope.
Oh, so before we get to our guest and the purpose of the show, and our guest was on camera there somewhere. Did we lose her one?
Yeah,
We
she's
lost her.
gone. She was like,
So hey,
I want no part
oh,
of these
there.
two.
Okay, yeah, I don't blame her. But before we bring our guest on, before you have the thrill of introducing her here for our, first of all, let me congratulate you on 3 years of the show.
Thank you.
That's
I,
you've done a great thing by launching this, and
we've come a long way.
I really
We're a
appreciate.
Non-profit now, but when we started, I had no clue what I was doing.
We were a non-profit from the moment I came on board. So,
and I thank you, and special thank you to our producer Juan, because I used to do this
and the
show.
folks over at NRN too.
And the folks at NRN, yeah, they were the ones who really pushed me to do this show. And when I first started doing it, I did have Michael Bloomling. He was on the show, but after a couple months, it wasn't for him. He was going to focus on, he was running for Congress. So he left the show, and then it ended up just being me. And I was the producer, I was doing it all, and I had no one to talk to most times. Sometimes I would get a guest, sometimes they would flake on me, and that was trial by fire. I definitely learned quite a bit, but then we were able to bring you in, and Juan was like, you don't have a producer, what, are you stupid? And I said yes, and he said, okay, I'll produce the show. So it's gotten a lot better.
And I second that. As an enlisted man, I do second the fact that you, as an officer and a Marine, are stupid. And but I say that with the utmost respect and profound love for you as a friend, which is far more important than the fact that you were an officer.
So far, Crayon has not sponsored the show. Why, I don't know, because we love their products. They're tasteful.
I have to send Skipper a box about it once every 2 weeks. So, but I get the multi-pack, and then I tell him to sort it out by color, which keeps him preoccupied for at least 3 days. So, but I before we bring in our guest tonight, I did want to show that short that I put up on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give anybody any background information. So, but what I do want is for our viewers to watch this and then head over to my channel and watch it again and then comment, because I want people to think about the person, especially those of us that are military veterans or even active duty, reserves, guard, whatever. I want us to think about what that oath that we swear means to us, and what it should mean to everybody who swears that. And Juan, he's giggling at me. I think we should just toss him out. So.
I'm actually giggling at myself.
I don't blame you. But yeah, so Juan, if we could play that short, and then if everybody wants to head over to Minnesota Black Robe Regiment and look for it, it'll be on the top of the page for you guys to watch. And I'd love to hear your comments and your feedback. I know it seems like it's out of context, but that's the key. That's the point of the video, is I want to see people's responses without context.
Oh, it'll take just a moment for us to put it up here.
Keep talking about yourself, girls.
I identify as a millionaire, so wait. Folks, we are a professional show. I don't know if you know this.
I identify as a ninja. I've always wanted to be a ninja. I figure I can just identify as one.
I feel so sorry for our guest right now. Before we even bring her on, she's going to be like... Why did I say yes? I just want her to know I had nothing to do with this. This is not my fault.
While we got that going, I will tell people we'll do a
Oh, hey,
plug
we got a
later on in the
cruise coming
show.
up.
Uh, so we are a nonprofit now, veterannationfoundation.com. You can go there, you can buy our merchandise. We also are doing a cruise. We are taking a cruise. We're leaving from Los Angeles. We're going to the Mexican Riviera. We'll be hitting up Cabo San Lucas, Puerto Vallarta, and Matalan. So we'll be going to those three places, and it'll be veteran supporters. We got some really good prices through Royal Caribbean, and if you email warriorscruise@gmail, uh, we'll be able to get you more information on it. I am starting to see people, they're reaching out to me, asking questions about it. I'm sending them to the Royal Caribbean FAQ and giving them the prices. And for those who are interested, we will definitely get their information, get them booked. We're close to getting this. I'm seeing it up.
Yeah,
it's
we're
populating now.
Very close. Yeah. So Juan, whenever you're ready, go ahead and roll with it.
Wait a minute. The sheriff said I took an oath of office to solemnly swear to support the Constitution and uphold your rights to be the most important function to the citizens of Sherburne County.
There again, no context. I'm not going to give anybody any background context. I just want you to go over to Minnesota Black Robe Regiment on YouTube and watch that, and then comment what your thoughts are. And then just ask yourself why your perception is the way it is. So, Mike, as we get ready to bring in our guest, we have this video to watch. So before we bring her in, you want to tell everybody who we're bringing in, and then one can play the video.
Sure. So joining us today is she's a model and entertainer. She's also a Navy veteran. Her name is Astrid Star, and we do have her website down below if you'd like to buy her merchandise. But we're going to be talking about her struggle with the VA, and I think this video is a really good lead-in to it.
7 times over the course of the last fucking 6 years, dude. The VA has continued to let me down. Fuck. I just want some fucking continuity of care with mental health providers. What the fuck? These doctors keep quitting, they keep switching. And then the one doctor that I really liked, who talked me off a fucking ledge the last time, refused. I had a split because they fell out of network, and then they came back into network, so I went the last 2 years dealing with my own demons myself and trying to hold it to fucking together. And then come to find out it's like May, it's like late May, and he denied taking my case back April fucking 12th, and I'm just finding out, dude. And now I gotta go back to some new fucking doctor. And then I gotta open fucking Pandora's box again because they're gonna want to know everything, and then I'm gonna have to live through working through that for a fucking month. I just want some fucking continuity of care, dude. I'm fucking so tired of it. I just want to be able to talk to the same fucking person and have the same individual manage my goddamn meds. Been off all my medications for fucking 2 years. I've been doing it on my own, man. I'm just fucking white knuckling. I'm gripping. Jesus fuck. I'm so tired of it.
I understand exactly where that man has been. I've been fighting to get a therapist since November. I am happy to say I've finally gotten some calls back, but it's really hard when you have to relive the trauma. And yeah, every 6 months you got to talk to a brand new doctor. It's really frustrating.
So, Juan, go ahead and bring her in.
There she is. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for joining us. And we wanted to bring you on because you've had your own fight with the VA.
Yes, I have for sure. For
So
many years.
let's start off a little bit and talk about your naval service, if that's okay. Just explain what you did,
Yeah.
little bit about it.
Okay, so I joined the Navy in 2008. I joined out of Norman, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City. So I'm originally from Houston, Texas, but I have some family out in Norman, Oklahoma City. So I joined out of there, shipped off to boot camp. I was 18, joined in 2008, served into 2012. During my service, I was on the USS Peleliu, which is an LHA 5. So it's an amphibious assault ship, which is huge. We have 2,000 Marines and 900 sailors, so it's huge. I was on the coast of San Diego, so when we deployed, we would go out to sea for about 3 to 4 months at a time, go around the coast, monitor the coast, come back for a week, go back out. So, it was a lot of sea time, but I like going out to sea. You get used to it, I guess. It becomes natural. I was an operations specialist, so that means radar. I worked in the Combat Information Center, which is where all the radar is and everything for the sea is manned. So we look for, we have to make sure there's no enemy ships or enemy anything coming towards the shore or towards, we pretty much protect San Diego on the coast. So we did that, worked in CIC, did radar, and yeah, did that for 4 years. Ship life I like ship life. It wasn't too bad, but it's pretty hard. There's a lot of people and you got to get used to it. My job is all night as an operations specialist. So basically I watch the radar all night. And you can't fall asleep either. It's important. So you get used to, I guess, working all night, and then it's hard to sleep because you have the small, little, they call them coffin racks because they're so small. And I had a top rack, but you sit up and you bump your head. It's so small. So, and then it's hard to get sleep because when you work all night, you're sleeping during the day. So everyone is up and you hear the locker slamming and everything. So then it's like hard to get to sleep. But
You are not the
that's
first person to say they have a hard time sleeping with Marines around. So
yeah, and we have a lot of Marines on the ship. 2,000 Marines is a lot. A lot of people don't know that the Navy and Marines work hand in hand together. As the branch, they're always working together. But yeah,
Especially on the
Well,
we
like
take
my
the
uncle
Marine.
like my uncle used to tell me, when they used to get pay stubs in the military, it said right on the bottom of the Marines' paycheck, Department of the United States Navy. So
Yeah. So yeah, we work with a lot of Marines, but we joke with each other. The branches, it's all fun and games.
Well,
The Marines joke with us too. They call us
I'll apologize for all the Marines that you were stationed with
the,
because I can only imagine what they did.
the Marines joke with us. They call us. They said that we're their taxi. Their Navy is their taxi. It's funny. So yeah, the ship it was an amphibious assault ship. So they're constantly. We had a well deck too. So they were always the Marines and everything would be doing drills on the well deck, which was pretty cool. We also had a flight deck, so the jets are constantly landing. It's like not too big of a. You have to be a very good pilot to be able to land that deck, the flight deck, that with that short of a distance.
were they
So yeah,
what kind of planes were they landing on that thing? All I can picture is Harriers.
the what?
What kind of planes were they landing on that thing? I'm picturing Harriers because
Yeah,
I can't
Harriers.
imagine.
The MH-60S, the Seahawks. So
That's were the Ospreys around when you were in
the what?
the M22
I'm
Osprey?
sorry, I couldn't hear.
Ospreys.
No.
The Ospreys.
that?
That's the helicopter with the two rotors that can go up and down.
So
Depends
it can
on
fly
where you're
like a
stationed.
yeah.
That's not what we had on our ship. We have actual jets landing constantly, but we do have a helicopter. I worked at a helicopter squadron. I worked at HSC 3, and that was in Coronado, Naval Base Coronado. So HSC 3 is where they actually train the pilots.
Such a
So
bad place to be stationed. It's in the worst part of town. For our fans
Naval Base
watching,
Coronado, you have to go through.
yeah, for our
You have to
fans
go on the
watching,
big bridge too every single day to get there.
it's essentially a gated
A huge
community
bridge.
on an island.
Yes.
They
Good
might have done
times.
that to keep the Navy and Marine personnel away from the rest of the people. So
So you get out.
when did you get out?
So I got out in 2012. So I did 4 years active duty.
Had you in all of your time on the when you were deployed, were you actually deployed to any of the war zones, or were you fortunate
I
enough
didn't
to?
I didn't go. I didn't have to deploy to any countries. Like I said, my deployments were all on the coast of San Diego. Our mission was to protect the coast of San Diego. We have to protect the whole coast. So we didn't go to other countries per se when I was on. But now, about a year or so later, they did. They did go to Hawaii, Australia, Japan, and the usual ports. But when I was on, we would go like I said, 3 months at a time, come back for a week, go back, come back. So it was a lot of on and off. It's actually hard because when you're out to sea that long, I would actually prefer going to land and being on a deployment that actually hits land, because when you're on water that long, 3 to 4 months, not hitting land, that's a lot of ocean time, a lot of time being on a ship. So I'd much rather, be able to go port to port, go to Hawaii, stop, go to Japan, go to Australia. I think that's preferable, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Being on a ship in general does not sound like fun to me. So
There's
how
so
soon after?
many. Yeah,
No, go ahead.
go
Finish
ahead.
your thought.
Sorry.
No,
I
there's
was
so
just
many.
talking about the Navy ship. If you've ever been on a Navy ship, it's so huge, and there's so many compartments, so many fan rooms, so many stairs. There's so many compartments on the ship that you would explore and explore for days, and you still won't be able to explore it. They're huge. It's crazy. But the
That's
food
like
is
my
good. The
house.
Navy.
Then it's like my house.
Yeah, it's huge. Except
Yeah.
your house has better bed. Unfortunately, we don't have the best bed.
Oh no, I sacrificed a bed just so I could have a lot of stairs. I just wanted a lot of stairs. I'm like, who needs a bed?
I was very fortunate because as a Marine, I only got to spend one night on ship, and that was the USS Nashville. And I can already tell you it was probably a good thing that I only spent that one night, because had they put me on another ship, I probably would have brought a tin whistle, because that was one thing I noticed was a lot of the whistles going through the berthing to let people know what was going on. As a Marine, I had no clue what any of it meant, but I was like, oh, it'd be fun to really mess with people.
So you spent a few nights on the ship,
Just
but
one.
not too much.
Just
Just
one.
one night, so not too much ship life. So
Yep.
you would like it, or you wouldn't? You didn't really like it,
Honestly,
or it'd be okay.
had I not enlisted in the Marine Corps when I did, I probably would have gone to the Navy. I just yeah I just find myself. I grew up off Lake Erie, so being on the water has always kind of been
Yeah,
my thing. But the Marine Corps is where I ended up,
yeah,
and I had a pretty successful career.
that's good.
Now I do want to talk to you
So
Were
about.
you stationed?
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Oh, go
I was
ahead.
just going to ask after you got out, how soon did you start your struggle with the VA? Because I haven't done much struggling with the VA. The skipper's on me all the time to start applying for VA benefits, and I hear all the horror stories, and I'm like, that kind of counterintuitive, a little bit of cognitive disconnect there, Skipper. That's part of our focus of our show is to help vets and talk them through, and every vet has a story about how horrible the VA is. But yet
Yes.
he keeps telling me I should apply. And so before we get to your story, I wanted to give a shout out to somebody in the VA today. And I'm not making this up. This is not sarcasm. I want to say her name. I'm working on, I have a VA loan for my house, and I'm working on some stuff to save my home because having lost my career, things have been a little difficult. And I'm working with the VA, and today a person who's not the agent or tech that's assigned to my loan stepped in because the person who is out on vacation while I'm trying to get some help set up. And I've had the pleasure of talking to Marcy Dent, from a loan technician from the Department of Veteran Affairs in the area around Virginia. She was freaking phenomenal, just phenomenal. Now I'm hoping that I could relate that to everything else that the VA does, especially medical care, as it pertains to, physical care and mental health care and all that. I know that's not true, but I wanted Marcy, if anybody knows Marcy Dent, let her know that I thank her for being as great as she was today. But what was your experience right out of the gate, and what were you going to seek help with?
So I first started when I got out in 2012. I first started my claim in 2014, and I had no idea about the claim process either. The Navy or the military, they don't teach you. That's not something that you get out and they tell you, hey, this is how you go apply. You are eligible for benefits. That's something that they don't want veterans to know because the government doesn't want to pay out the money. So I applied in 2014. First, I started the appeal myself, and I applied for all my things that I occurred in service. So the insomnia, the migraines, back pain, and PTSD due to MST. And then the secondary claims fall in with that. That's how it works with the Navy. So I applied in 2014. I kind of knew I was going to get denied the first time. I didn't have a lawyer or anything, but I was told it doesn't matter if you get denied the first time, as long as you apply, then you'll be eligible for back pay starting the date that you apply.
Yep.
That's the most important part. So I listened to my good.
Intent to file.
Yes, is very, very important. Doesn't matter if you're discouraged and think that you might not gonna win the case. Just start the case, and like I said, that was the most important part, was starting that case in 2014. And just like I said, I got denied the first time, and I was discouraged. But my good veteran friend who's retired Navy, he told me, he encouraged me and said, don't give up. That's how the Navy, that's how the military and the VA is. That's just, they're going to deny. It actually says almost 75% of veterans get denied the first time that they even apply for a claim. So, that already discourages the veteran right away to not want to apply again, because it's already like a confusing and hard process that they obviously don't explain on purpose. So I got denied and probably waited about maybe 3 years later, and I hired an actual attorney this time to try and make an appeal for me. The attorney, I feel like they didn't do that much for me. They really didn't know the process. So the attorney, the appeal it wasn't successful, and I got denied again for the second time. So at that point, I was still like, discouraged, like, wow, I got denied again. But I did a lot of research, and I found out it's very common. So it's not just me that's getting denied. It's just something that the VA does to veterans, because they don't want you to keep applying, even though you deserve your compensation for what you had to go through for signing that dotted line and for getting injured during the line of service and for all that you went through. So I tried again with a different lawyer. This is probably year later, I want to say maybe in 2020, with a local lawyer, VA lawyer, I
Mhm.
had hopes that were as good again. And for the third time, it got denied. So I was like, wow, maybe I'm just not going to get approved. Maybe the VA is just going to treat me
What
in a
was their
very,
what was their hang up? What was their reason for denying? What were you aiming at as far as your claim? And I don't mean that in an
they were,
accusatory way, but
yeah.
what was the brunt or the gist of what you were claiming?
Well, the excuse that they use and that they try to use for everyone is that they need more evidence for the claim. It's always like, we just need more evidence. But if they actually read the files, my evidence is all in the documents there from the VA themselves. It's already there. It's written by doctors. They had already said that everything that I'm claiming is in there. It's written and diagnosed already by the VA. All they have to do is read the notes themselves. It's like they don't even read the notes. So I got discouraged again, but I was like, I'm not going to give up because, like I said, I have that good veteran friend who's retired in the Navy, and he told me, it's okay, don't give up, try again. If you win, you get your back pay from when you applied, when I did in 2014. So I said, okay. And then I researched the best veteran appeal lawyer that I could in the area, and I found one with really good rates. And she listened to me. She set me up with something that my other lawyers never set me up with, which is something that I think really helped win my case. It's called a CMP exam. So a CMP exam is basically an appointment with an outside doctor that they rate you, to let you know, or to see if they think that the injury was least likely, more than likely, or for sure occurred in the service. So I went through those CMP exams, and I finally, when I went to the CMP exam, the doctor had already read my notes, and right away he was like, "I don't know why this is taking so long, but this for sure occurred in the military, in the Navy, and I am going to sign you off on your next. This is, it did occur." And he signed it off, and he said, "Thank you, shipmate." And there was already proof. Like I said, the doctors had already put it in there. They were just ignoring me. Like I said, they just always find an excuse to deny veterans, which is messed up. So I finally won my case after 2014, getting denied, winning on my fourth time. And like I said, I won my back pay from 2014. And
Very nice.
when I got my check, I was like, wow, all this stuff I had to go through, the horrible treatment at VA medical centers. Really, they treat veterans awful. There's so many stories from myself to many other veterans. I was like, all this stuff I had to go through was finally, it was finally worth it.
Hmm.
And I was glad I didn't give up. And it's that all veterans, they apply for their disability benefits. And like I said, apply right away, even if you don't have a lawyer. It's important that you apply for your benefits because, like I said, they will go back to the back pay for that date that you apply. And if, like I said, if you get denied, don't give up. Reapply because they want you to give up.
And that's, I
So
will say,
I'm very happy.
for the people who are watching the show, if you are doing a claim or want to do a claim and you have questions, you can always reach out to us on Twitter. I'm at RealVetNation, or you can always email veterannation@protonmail.com. In fact, for all of the people who are in our chat tonight, because it's our 3-year anniversary, if you could email veterannation@protonmail.com with an email or with a address for a veteran in your life, we have some gift cards that were donated to our charity, and we want to give those to the veterans that are special to you. So if you're going to do a claim, email us. If you're in the chat right now watching the show live, email us veterannation@protonmail.com. veterans.com, and we'll get those out to you because we are here to help veterans. And one thing you're hitting on is something that a veteran told me when I first got out, and that was the VA wants you to give up or die. If you refuse to do both, you're eventually going to get what's owed to you.
Yeah, and that's very true. 100%. Sad but true.
Now, how hard do you think it was gathering the evidence?
You know, I was told right away to start, go to my doctors and everything and document what happened during the military service.
Mhm.
So, I would go to the VA. I did document stuff there. Then I started realizing that they didn't care. So then I started seeing an outside doctor as well, and they have it documented as well.
Okay.
And so there's two documents from the VA and an outside doctor as well, plus any hospital visits that I had as well. Once they got all that together, they can't deny it because the evidence is all there. There's nothing that they can say.
Now, one way you
You can't
documented,
say.
you have a video that you sent us. If we can, we'll try to get that up to show, if you're okay with us showing it, of some of the issues you've had. And while we're doing that, I'll tell people who are watching, veterans who are watching, who are looking to document their stuff, there's an app out there called My Migraine Buddy. And if you're having migraines, you can actually go into there. You can write down what your symptoms are, what you're experiencing, and that's considered journaling. And you can take that, download it, and submit that as evidence for your claim. And it'll be much more of a strengthened claim because you're actively journaling your symptoms.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. What's the app name again?
It's My Migraine Buddy, and yeah, it's in the
Okay.
app on
I've
Google Play
nicknamed
Store.
it. I've nicknamed it My Normal Day with Skipper.
I'm definitely your migraine buddy, but I'm the one causing them. I don't know if Juan's been able to get that video to pull it up. He's deep in thought.
And Juan is so deep in thought. He's
We talking
Juan's so
about
deep.
Are we talking about the seizure video?
Yes, if we have that.
Got it.
Because this
Folks,
is,
ladies and gentlemen, fans of the show, what you just witnessed was an audio appearance by the magic man behind the scenes, giving us that wonderful dulcet sounds of that Puerto Rican voice. And we don't get that. You don't get that very often. That was specifically for our 3rd anniversary. So I just want everybody to understand. If you're lucky and behave yourselves, you might get to watch him come on with his hat on backwards and everything. He says, no, not tonight. Go ahead and roll the video.
Relax. Right now I gave her some right before she had the seizure, so I'm just recording. So the doctors, they told me to get a whole body because last time they only got her head. So now I'm at least making sure she didn't choke. I'm getting the full seizure so they could see, because if not, they don't believe us. So her hands are clenching, her legs are not bicycling, they get tight. The last of this seizure, she always does this. She starts spitting out. Make sure she doesn't choke. She's looking up to her right side or left side. She's looking up left.
I can't imagine that's easy for you to watch.
No, it's not easy, and it's kind of weird because I have grandma seizures, so I lose consciousness during my seizures. Mine last about 2 minutes, and so when I wake up and they tell me I have a seizure, I'm very confused and I don't believe it. I'm like, I didn't have a seizure. Are you serious? And then they have to show me the video. When they showed me the video. I'm like, wow, I didn't know this is what I actually look like and what I have to go through when I go through these grand mal seizures. And yeah, the Navy or the military, the VA, when we would go to the doctors there in the neurology, they didn't even want to look at the videos. They just said, "Oh, they would say to us, oh, you're not having seizures." And we say, "Yes, I am. Here's a video right here to prove it to you." And the
Did
doctor
they do
wouldn't look.
EC? Did they do any EEGs or anything on
Yeah, the
you as far
EEG.
as?
They didn't really do much. They just did an MRI, which can't really read anything. They didn't do an EEG or anything. My normal doctor has.
I
I
was
see
gonna
a
say, how are
neurologist.
they? They're doing an so the VA does an MRI, which isn't going to show what the EEG does. But and I know you. Are these seizures, were they late onset in your adult life, or is it something related to an injury or something that you were exposed to in?
So my seizures they didn't start until around 2000. I'm gonna say 2017 or before. Um, I never had seizures before. I wasn't born with epilepsy. I never had seizures. Played sports. Never had seizures. I wouldn't be able to be on a ship or anything if I had seizures.
Right,
Um,
that's exactly why I'm asking, because for you to develop seizures at, yeah, and you're way younger than Skipper, and definitely younger than Juan and I. For you to develop that late in life after you have been in the military, that is indicative of, to me, is indicative of an exposure or an injury of some sort, which I'm assuming was the assertion of your claim against or to the VA, and then you were able to document that. And those seizures, when you have one, there that causes changes in the brain, that causes damage, and
oh
they just
yes.
refuse to check any of that.
No, the doctor wouldn't even look at the video. He turned his head. He acted like he knew everything because he thinks, sometimes doctors are like that. And,
Oh, all the time.
we had to put it in his face. And then he was like, "Oh, that is a seizure." And we're like, "Yeah, we've been trying to tell you." And so they tried to send me to neurology there. And like I said, all they did was an MRI. They didn't try to do an hospital EEG or anything. They put me on a pretty much lethal dose of epileptic medicine. When I went to my neurologist specialist, he told me that I need to get off that right away. One of the symptoms of my medications is you could get a really bad rash and die from it. It's like a lethal, and they had me on like 2 times the amount that I was supposed to be. So,
Yeah,
and they weren't even trying any medical combinations or anything.
they like
Just
to play
give
around
her
with
some
medication.
medication.
I I
Yeah,
have
and see
some
if it
people
works.
that are I have some people that are watching and messaging and asking questions that you said, and it's not that I don't believe you, but you said they gave you basically lethal doses of seizure medications.
Yeah, it was way too high, way above the dose that it was supposed to. On
And
Keppra and Lamictal, if you look up the side effects of Lamictal, there you can look it up right now. Look up side effects. Anyone could look it up. One of the side effects is a deathly rash, like I said, that you can occur, and uh, that can kill you instant.
so
The
so you have a claim going back to your military service that they're trying to ignore. And then when they finally do get around to treating you, they give you the right medication in incredibly wrong dosages. So now you've got further claim, and you're in this fight, you're sick. I'm imagining, like, with that, you can't drive with any kind of
no, I
grand mal
can't.
seizure.
No, I
Like
can't. I
any
still can't drive.
I think you have, what
That's
is
how
it?
my boyfriend tried me everywhere.
You have to go how many years, I think, without a
A
seizure to be
year,
able
one
to?
year,
Yeah.
1 full year,
And just
And
for the
one
how
full year
often?
to
persons
be
who
able.
are watching, I want you to know that by having something like this where it affects your life, where you can't drive, that makes it right there eligible for a claim because now it's affected your lifestyle.
Yeah. So
True. Very true.
how so this started, you said, about 2017.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Here we are in 2023. Where are you in the process?
Yeah.
Have you got? I mean, have you gotten any kind of resolution?
Yeah.
Because I'm over here going, see, Skipper, this is why TC struggles.
Yeah. Well, so what I did is I started thinking, you know what, the Navy doesn't really care about me. So with the seizures that I have grand mal seizures, they're also nocturnal, so they happen when I sleep. So in this certain REM cycle is when I'm having the seizures. It's in this deep cycle of sleep. Like I said, I have nightmares. I have, insomnia. I awake and stuff.
Are
There's some
you
trauma in there, but
are you
that
officially
are
100%
triggers.
disabled, or have they?
Right now I'm at 75%.
Okay.
75%. And now they're working on one appeal, and that's for my back. And so because my back is disaligned, and that's from, the sea bags on the ship, there's back injuries
Oh,
from straining,
oh yeah.
and there's actually separation. You got to fit everything for 3 to 4 months on one ship, and that bag is heavy. Of all those stairs, I don't
Yep.
think people even understand how many stairs you have to go up and down. So, but
I
yeah, I'm at
understand carrying
75%.
that. I was going to say I understand carrying that kind of weight because I do this show every week with Skipper.
Well, here's what people should know about the disability percentage. So, when you get a disability percentage, that's not really how disabled you are. That's your percentage of injuries that the VA says they are responsible for. So, that's why someone can be 100% disabled and still go work another job. It's not like Social Security disability where once you get 100%, you can't work anymore. The other thing you need to know is that these disability percentages are tied to benefits. So the VA is encouraging veterans to make claims. So I've heard people say, oh, well, this guy's making fake claims and stuff like that. Well, I always have said, well, who cares? The VA is going to deny him anyway because that's what they do with everyone to begin with. So let him make a fake claim if that's what it is. If it's a legitimate claim, the VA is going to accept it. But when you get to 0%, now you can actually start applying and get your card so that you can get into certain places. When you get 30%, that's where you actually start really getting monetary, like a really good check. Because below that, it's like $100 a month. When you get to 50%, you get VA healthcare. You don't have to keep healthcare somewhere else. When you get I believe it's over 70% here in California. You can get into you can get into California state parks. So all these benefits are tied to your disability percentage. Here in California, if you get 100% disability, you now get to pay less property tax. In other states like Ohio, you get free license plates. These are things that they've put in that are incentivizing people to get higher and higher disability percentages. So if someone says, oh, I'm not going to put in one because I'm taking away from somewhere else. No, you're not taking away from anybody. That's all mandatory funding, and all your benefits are going to be tied to it. So, my little rant there.
No, that's very true. I agree.
And I want everybody to know, Skipper doesn't rant very often. Normally it's me. So I'm normally the ranter. Hey, we're coming up on kind of, I know you got to get out of here. Is there any place that you would like to send people to connect with you as far as fighting for justice with the VA? Is there some way, do you have any foundations or anything we can do to help?
I don't have any foundations. I know if you guys want to reach out to me, I don't know. I respond on Twitter mostly, just at Astrid Star Baby on Twitter. You can reach out to me there. I'd really like to help out any veteran in the claim process because I had to go through it. And honestly, I want to say what Also, helped me with the claim was, like I said, the outside doctors. I've been to hospitals and stuff, and they have all their notes, and a doctor has witnessed me to have a seizure. I had to be transported by ambulance, probably over 4 times to the hospital because of my grandma's seizures. So that was all documented. And when the Navy, when they gathered up all the evidence for the appeal, they saw all that. I told them that they could, because you say where you want where you want your evidence, like what hospital, what medical person, what doctor. So I gave them all the hospitals and everything. And once they gathered all that evidence, they said, yes, she does. She does have everything she's claiming, the disabilities. And, they can't deny it. And every veteran, they need to fight for what, like I said, don't be scared to just apply. The first step is just applying, even if you have to apply for yourself, like I said, and get denied. Just start the appeal. Um, and that's the first step. You have nothing to lose, really. And
Absolutely.
I'd like to help out. If anyone needs help in the process too, reach out to me. I'm on Twitter at Astrid Star Baby. I'd love to help out other veterans. Like I said, I think I have a lot of veteran friends too that are going through a lot, and I've been trying to help them out as well, and really pushing them to start a claim. And yeah.
Absolutely. And
So
of course,
I was just gonna ask. I hear you said you're from Oklahoma, in Texas area.
No, Houston, Texas. Yeah, Houston, Texas.
And you joined in
And
Oklahoma.
yeah, out of
I,
Oklahoma City.
I'm hearing a little Latina in your in the back of your voice. Is that pretty accurate, or you no? No?
No.
Because we don't get any Hispanics on the show besides Juan. And so, and nobody wants to talk to Juan that much. So, no, he says no. But
Maybe it's just a mix of the Texas, California. Somehow it
Texas
created
and
a
yeah,
unique Texacal accent.
I've been out here in the desert for 10 years, and yeah, you do pick it up.
you don't sound anything at all like a Hispanic, Skipper. You still sound like a Midwestern guy. So, Astrid, thank you for sharing your story. I know it's not easy to talk about the stuff that you've been through, and thanks for coming on and offering to help people, because if they don't want to reach out to Skipper, I'm not the right person to reach out to, in the sense I'll certainly point you in the right direction, but I can't help, because I'm still like looking at the system and hear these stories and go, I don't know. But thanks for putting yourself out there in a way where you're available to help people that are struggling, because it's vets, we've earned it. And I will say that I recognize that vets, we have earned it, more than anybody else. And the money just sits around if we don't. So I guess I'm preaching to myself right now. But Astrid, thanks so much for offering to help, and thanks for putting up with coordinating all of this with Skipper. And Skipper, what do you have?
Well, I just want to remind all of our viewers that we are a nonprofit. We do have the Veteran Nation Foundation. If you want to buy our merchandise, you can go to veterannationfoundation.com. You can also support us by we are doing the Warriors Cruise. Like I said earlier, we're going to be going from LA to the Mexican Riviera. We're going to be doing that in November. So if you're interested, if you're a veteran, or if you support veterans and want to come on that, yep, right there is our flyer. You can email me at warriorscruise@gmail.com. Warriors with an S. And I'll also be pushing stuff on Twitter and on Instagram for the cruise, and would love to have people come on a nice little vetcation with us.
And if it makes y'all feel better, TC will not be going, because TC does not do big water, and he ain't flying to California. So
I'm definitely going to share this to all my veteran friends as well.
I'll send you
the merchandise
and you
the flyer.
Yeah, and you have more friends than we do.
I have a lot of veteran friends, and other people that follow me that have served as well, and they're just starting the process too. So I think, TC, I think you should start your process of the appeal. I think you have nothing to lose. I think it's a good idea.
Well, I have to actually start the process to be able to appeal it. So
Yeah.
I'll take.
So you
I will
gotta
consider.
get on that.
Intent to file.
I'll consider
Intent to
myself
file.
duly chastised.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna share all the links. I think that's pretty cool. Y'all are doing a warrior cruise and everything too. It's out of Los Angeles. That's pretty cool.
And if you're watching
Veteran
If I did go,
vacation.
I do.
If you're watching
If
on
I did
YouTube,
go,
we
I'd
got
do the stand
Astrid's
up.
links down below for her Twitter and her website for her merch.
Thank you. And thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy it. I hope spreading knowledge to other veterans so we can help other veterans that are in need and that are going through hard times. And, think that it might be, like they're not going to get out of that hard time because it's such a hard struggle, but you will make it. You
Absolutely.
will.
Well,
And don't give up.
well, thanks for sticking with the
And I want to
fight.
thank everyone too for serving. All the veterans here, thank you all for serving as well. My brother and sisters in the arms. We always got to look out for each other. Like they say, we got your six. So thank you guys.
Oh, thank you. And TC,
Thank you, Astrid.
are you plugging anything before we leave?
Yeah, everybody just head over to the channel and watch that video and leave your comments. I've gotten a few
Minnesota
since
Black
we've
Road
been
Regiment.
on, and yeah, Minnesota Black Road Regiment, and of course the coffee, and if anybody, if you're in a, if you just like to rock, my merchandise, it's not as nice as Astrid's and Skipper's, but and then I do have the fancy stainless steel shot glasses, which are great. You can take a shot and think of me, which is normally how I make all of my friends, is when I catch them taking shots. So,
Well, again, I want to thank our guest, Astrid Star, for coming on and telling her story. Definitely powerful for all of you veterans out there. Definitely make your claims. Reach out to her. Reach out to us. We have a community of veterans. People have been through it before. It's a hard process, but it can be made easier. And follow her on social media. Check out her links. Buy her merch. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.